Hmm? Ah, my friends! Oh, it has been oh so long without you. Please sit down. Get comfortable. I would offer you refreshments, but this is merely a transdimensional space where I share my stories, and, as such, you would have no need for sustenance here. But I can offer you the idea of refreshments. Uh, Please do excuse the mess. It's been a little while since our last story, and I am afraid I let things go to ruin a tad bit. Nothing a little work can't clean up, eh, friends? But that is neither here nor there. You're here for a story, aren't you? Oh, don't be coy. I can see it in your eyes. Well, you're in luck. I happened to come across an interesting trove of stories and adventures during my absence. And wouldn't you know it, they even all come pre-packaged in this sticky leather tome with a screaming face on it. Oh, how fortuitous, isn't it? Now, shall we get to it? Greetings, friends, new and returning. Welcome to my library. I am T, your humble narrator. The T, of course, it stands for tired. But enough dilly-dallying. It is a story you want, and a story you shall get. The mysterious beings known as Grymkin have long stalked the fringes of civilization. Their gruesome deeds were immortalized in folk tales and superstitions, passed down from one generation to the next as warnings against a sinful life. While scholars may dismiss such tales as flights of rural fancy, the truth is, oh, the truth, my friends, is that the threat of the Grymkin is very real, especially to those who live outside the stone walls of the great cities. The supernatural Grymkin comprise a diverse assortment of creatures, each with their own particular prey for which they hunger. From the vile trapperkin that snatch children from their beds, to the moldering gourds of the dread rots, to even the volatile cask imps that are the bane of all drunkards. Each Grymkin has its own ritualistic habits that define its nature just as much as its physical form. While in the dark past, various Grymkin have posed a threat to those unfortunate few who might have randomly crossed their paths. The arrival of the Defiers from Caen has brought the Grymkin together like a clarion call. Together, with fantastic and powerful creatures born from the nightmares of the Defiers' minds as they were tormented and twisted in the hellish landscape of Caen, the Grymkin are now poised to unleash the wicked harvest upon all of humankind. Leading their armies of Grymkin, the Defiers are like demigods, capable of untold feats of power, and they thirst to destroy all that bears the stain of the god Menoth. These potent beings were once mortals who spurned Menoth and his gifts, rebelling against his oppression and the inevitable corruption they foresaw his civilization spawning. For this unforgivable sin, they were cast into the hells of Caen, doomed to an eternity of pain and torment. In time, however, the Defiers learned to harness their curse, and now they have returned, ready to tear down Menoth's walls and rip out the black seed of his corruption from the heart of humanity. Within the pages of this tome are scrawled the disturbing truths and hidden histories of the Grymkin and their masters. Should you, my friend, be brave enough, or perhaps foolish enough, to expose your mind to these long-hidden records, consider yourself forewarned, for all that you have come to take for granted will be shaken to its very foundations. You will learn why it is wise to fear the dark, and why no wall will save civilization from its ultimate fate. Just in reading these first words, you can feel the change within you. The roots of corruption that have overgrown your soul are being cleared away by the burning light of the truth. Wait. Do you hear that? That sound of claws scratching at the very walls of this world. That is them, my friend. The harvest is coming, and coming now. Soon your eyes will be open to the lies of Menoth, and you will see the stain his false gifts have left upon this world of meek and corrupt cowards. Stride forth from the shadows. Bring forth your sickle and claim your bounty. Become a harbinger for the wicked harvest, and let humankind reap what it has sown. Once upon a time, the maker of man, the hunter of the worm, the gigantic masked god Menoth, stalked the lands of Caen. In the shadow that is looming shaped through on the still-forming world, after the passage of his burning footsteps, the first mewling men and women crawled forth from the foaming waters to seek shelter in lands that were both new and untamed. Humanity watched as their towering creator abandoned them to the hungry and thorny world, chasing after his ultimate prey, the worm. He did not hear as they called out to him and prayed for guidance. He simply left them behind. Perhaps Menoth did not want to hear them, because he wished only to hunt the great beast that prowled in the tangled forests and flashed across the rocky peaks of the New World, the Devourer Worm. It was the ever-changing beast that gave the wolf its fangs and the lion its claws. Throughout millennia, the beasts of all shapes and the creator of man waged a never-ending war with one another, both unable to overcome the strength of their opponent. Consumed by his desire to win this unwinnable war, Menoth had no time for trifling concerns like his own creation. So, the newly born wild folk learned to live without their maker, hiding in caves and cutting their own path through the snarled realm in which they had been left alone. They gathered into families and clans, and those clans grew into tribes. In time, they were spread all across the land, living, hunting, and striving together against the unforgiving world. Humanity was free-thinking then, and uninhibited. Each and every one among them was able to hunt and love and die on his or her own terms. They wandered where they pleased, keeping only the possessions they truly needed to survive, having no interest in amassing great piles of useless things. These first people lived within the pulse and thrum of the primal world. Every day was a new opportunity to explore and experience the world of Caen. They learned of their strength and they tested their cunning. Each and every one of them lived according to their own desires and needs. They told stories by moonlight, sang songs in the blackest depths of the night. Their spirits became strong because they had survived, wise because they had learned from one another, and fierce because the weakness was purged out of them by the uncompromising world around. What they seized from the world they savored, and their songs rang out beneath the moons and stars. When they died, their souls left their flesh behind to be untethered and free. After a time, however, the glint of these released spirits and the raw vitality of the wild folk living on Caen drew the eye of their creator away from his hunt. When he witnessed what his creations had become, the masked god began to crave the pure essence lying hidden deep within their marrow. Minoth hungered for their souls. Minoth knew he could not simply reach out and claim them, for all of humanity had a buried strength that could rattle the oldest oaks and grind mountains down to powder. If these free people discovered that power, they might unite against him, or they might reject him in favor of other gods, such as the distant maiden who danced across the stars. They might even kindle their own power, become gods of their own making. Already, he could see many of these mortals had turned to the worship of Minoth's foremost enemy, the Great Beast. He saw this jealously, as the hunters praised not his name, but that of the devourer worm. The hungry serpent would not hesitate to claim their spirits when they passed from the world of the living to the land of the dead. Worst of all, beyond even these worlds, a greater darkness greedily awaited, and like ravenous spiders that hid between the walls, the dwellers in this outer darkness were eager to add human souls to their collection. Is it just me, my friends? Or did anyone else feel a chill? I think that's enough of a story for today. This tale, as interesting as it is, feels full of malice and hate. Such cruelty, such corruption. It makes me yearn for the next chapter already.